Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Brew live on Brew Sports. We hope your Friday is already off to a great start, and we know that Friday, of course, is the best day of the week because it means the weekend is basically already here, and we have a great way to help you get to your weekend. Of course, by looking and listening to myself and Jaymee Evers. I feel like that gets most people through their Fridays and through their week in a good way.
Start on Mondays.
Start on Mondays, 7 a.m. Central, live right here on Brew Sports. You get the very best of what Jaymee and I are trying to throw at you. Most of the time it makes sense. Most of the other time it's just pure nonsense. But I think people like the nonsense at the same time.
I'd hope so, because there's a lot of nonsense.
There is a lot of nonsense, but it's good nonsense at the same time. We have a lot of great things coming up for you guys today on the show. We're going to be joined in our second segment by Morgan Brill, one of our fitness and health correspondents, to give us some tips about desk job survival tips. And people are... people work all day, and they always be like, oh, I want to stay active. I want to lose weight. Well, sometimes when you work a 9-to-5 job or an 8-to-5 job, you don't have that liberty sometimes because God knows nobody wants to get up earlier if they don't have to go work out. Or even by the time you get home, you're just like, I don't want to go work out. And sometimes it's hard to eat healthy as well, too. So Morgan's going to help us out in the second segment to kind of help us figure out some things that you can do while you're actually at work as well, too. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to having her on here in just a little bit. Reminder for all of you, of course, as Jaymee mentioned, you can get us every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Central, live right here on the wonderful and fabulous Brew Sports. If you're tuning in, good morning to all of you. It's great to see you. Hit that share button as well, too, so that way people around the world, the sports world, just the world as a whole, can check out everything that we got rolling this morning as well, too. And don't forget to comment as well with anything that we talk about. All right, Jaymee, what's brewing this morning? How are you, by the way? You doing good?
I'm doing good. I'm excited it's Friday.
Yeah, it's a great day.
I said that last week, too. Friday's good.
Well, I mean,
don't really
most people, I haven't met too many people where I'm like, hey, happy Friday. They're like, shut up.
I love Mondays.
Like, whoa.
Take it easy.
Girl, slow it.
Back off.
I gave Tika yesterday on our happy hour a good would you rather. I said, would you perpetually have it always be Thursday and never get to the weekend, or would you rather it always be Monday?
I think I'd rather it be Monday.
Really?
Yeah, because then if it's always Thursday, you're like, ooh, tomorrow's Friday. Sorry.
Yeah, but you never get. Yeah, it's like, you'd go through, you continuously go through your whole week to Thursday, but then you'd never get to the weekend. So
yeah, I think you'd just be super disappointed then. Mondays, you're like, yeah, it's gonna suck today.
It's like,
no, I know it's gonna suck. Ugh.
No fun.
Yeah.
No fun at all. All right. What are some of the things that we have rolling right off the bat here this morning, Jaymee?
The first thing I think we can talk about is Tiger Woods.
Tiger.
What's
up with Tiger? We're not talking about the rapper Tiger.
Yeah,
either.
No, we're not.
A little different.
Tiger.
He
will not.
What was that? Jamie's okay.
He will not be playing in the Arnold Invitational.
The Arnold Palmer Invitational. Classic Tiger Woods. He's out with a back injury.
He's getting old.
I don't know that the headline doesn't read properly. Tiger Woods out with back injury and Masters doubt.
Yeah.
So does that mean that because he's doubting his chances at the Masters, he's just like, guys, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I think
I'm doubting myself too much, therefore I cannot.
That is.
I don't know. Is that? I mean, I could be that might have just been how the sports world. Somebody wrote that headline in a strange way, but
that could be it.
You get the general concept of what we're getting at here, basically. But I mean, Tiger Woods.
In the article, he's like, I'm disappointed because I wanted to help honor Arnold. Are you that disappointed?
If you wanted to
throw an icy hot on there.
Throw a little icy hot. Man up, Tiger.
Yeah, you got the money to go to the doctor and fix yourself.
Right? Seriously, he does. He really does. Morning, by the way, Brew. Great to see you. Thanks for popping on here. I don't get that. I mean, how do you, when people are like, oh, I'm doubting myself, so I don't think I'm probably going to do something like this. It's like, just do it.
I wish I could do that. Like, man, I'm really doubting my ability to work today.
Yeah,
so
I was just about to say, I'm really doubting
home.
the fact that I can perform at my peak.
Yeah.
And my back is a little sore. Yeah, boss, I can't come in today. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I really wish I could be there to support you guys.
I really
and help
do.
Run,
I totally believe in what you guys are doing, but I'm having a lot of self-doubt today. I can't do it.
My pinky hurts. Yeah. Can't type on that computer.
How are you supposed? No, those reports aren't going to send themselves. But I mean, at the same time, like it's not going to be my hands that send them because look at this hand. Like, it's not happening.
Ow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I get that.
It's probably a big baby.
Probably. All right. What else is brewing this morning, Jaymee?
We got a little Instagram drama.
Instagram. Everybody loves a little Instagram drama. Do you ever have any Instagram drama?
No.
Why not?
Because I post boring stuff.
I follow you on Instagram. I think your Instagram bio is probably the greatest thing that I've ever read. I don't have it in front of me. Do you have it on the top? Do you know
It says painfully average-looking female who's always down to get drunk. That's what it says.
Jaymee, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is. If you ever wanted to get a clear idea of who Jaymee Evers is, now you fully
now you know. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah.
Right? It's not misleading at all.
It's 100% accurate. As somebody that works with Jaymee on a daily basis, I can attest to the fact that, yes, I mean, she is, I like to say she's more than average, I feel like.
Thank you.
You know, she might doubt her abilities to be above average, but I believe in you, Jaymee. Just wanted to get that off my chest.
Thanks, Baxter.
When the world says no, I say yes, Jaymee. All right, so it's some Instagram drama. If you have not heard, of course, NFL free agency right now is a big, big thing, of course. And one name that continues to swirl around is Jimmy Garoppolo. He posted this on his Instagram 4 hours ago, and it says, so grateful for my time in New England. Peace out, Boston. And suddenly the entire sports world is losing their mind because they're like, oh, he's leaving. But everybody, if you look at the comments, people are like, oh, it's a hack, it's fake, it's not actually happening. Even ESPN's NFL reporter, Adam Schefter, has been like, no, it was a hack. You know what's missing in all this, Jaymee?
No.
Jimmy Garoppolo saying it was a fake.
Oh, I guess.
I mean, if it was a hack or it was a fake, like if you got hacked, wouldn't you like try to fix it?
Depending upon what it was. If it was funny, I'd probably leave it.
You'd probably leave it.
If it was super embarrassing, I'd probably.
Would you really?
Yeah. I get embarrassed easily, though.
That's true.
Yeah. The post also went up at 4 a.m., so you were saying that he was in Chicago, but...
He was watching a Blackhawks game.
Those don't
his first
end at
mistake.
4 a.m. I agree.
Well, I mean, he's watching the Blackhawks game earlier in the night, obviously.
Right. So, and if he was up until 4 a.m., I don't know, but if I go to Blackhawks game and then I'm out of the bars till 4, I am not coherent enough to post that.
No?
No. Because I'm having way too much fun.
Would you have a lot of fun at a Blackhawks game, though?
Yeah, the United Center is pretty cool.
I mean,
it's a pretty great place.
That's what I've heard.
Hockey.
No, I don't doubt that. Honestly, I don't.
Their fans suck, but other than that, it's a great place to watch hockey.
Well, it's Chicago, so you can only expect so much, I guess.
Right.
So, I mean, do you make anything of this? Honestly, I don't necessarily know.
I don't know. They say that there's been no talks of trading him or you know.
Well, yeah, Cleveland is supposedly the landing spot for Jimmy Garoppolo. I've heard rumors of Jacksonville now as well, too. Basically, any team that needs a quarterback is trying to hope and pray for the opportunity to get Jimmy Garoppolo on their team because, like, well, he was Tom Brady's heir, so he must be good.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that the Patriots would want to keep him for, like, an emergency case? Like,
well, yeah, of course.
You know, he's played with Brady.
This is the classic start, sit, cut. You start Tom Brady, you sit Jimmy Garoppolo, although you would probably start Jimmy Garoppolo and then and sit Tom Brady. Be like, we've got Tom just in case Jimmy gets hurt.
No, that's not
how the game works.
That's not my logic.
Tanner's got strange logic. It's Tanner's birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday, Tanner.
Happy birthday, Tanner.
You'll see him at halftime today, so we'll get to holler at him.
Hello.
In a good way. Not be like, Tanner!
Oh.
I'll probably just let him talk about the Bills for 60 minutes and I'll just walk away.
And how he took Micah Hyde. It's fine.
We're over it. We're fine. Packers will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We'll contend. We'll just put it all on Aaron Rodgers again.
Yeah. We'll still make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
What do the Bills do?
Nothing.
Just kidding, Tanner.
No, you're right, though. You're not wrong. Then final thing as well, too, here before we get to Morgan Brill is Brandon Marshall recently signed an NFL free agency with the New York Giants. If you haven't heard, it's kind of funny. He didn't go anywhere. The Giants and the Jets share the same stadium. If you didn't know that, I only found that out a couple years ago. Mind blown. And they both play in New Jersey, not New York. What? Fun fact.
I knew that.
Okay, there we go.
I've been there.
I'm just dropping all the knowledge on people here. Anyway, Brandon Marshall, if you don't remember, or maybe if you do remember, the New York Giants wide receivers went to Miami for New Year's, and they posted that.
I'm on a boat.
Basically, they were all on a boat taking shirtless selfies. Yes, that was right.
In their jeans and high tops.
In their jeans. I was like, when I said it didn't sound like it came out right, but yes, in their jeans. I've been to Florida. I lived in Florida for 8 years. Done the shirtless thing, but I have swim trunks on. But I can't say that I purposely will wear jeans and like big boots on a boat. Like, why? Wear a swimsuit. Go swimming. You're in the Gulf. You're in the Atlantic.
Maybe they don't like swimming.
Maybe. I don't know. Some guys can't swim. I know friends that can't swim. Totally happens. But Brandon Marshall basically was saying, like, look, guys, if I was on the team, none of this would have happened. He's like, I have never been to the playoffs before in his 11-year career. He's like, I would have done everything in my power to try to be as ready as I could for the game because as Packer fans know, And as Giants fans know, the Packers blew out the Giants in that game 38-13, I believe, or something very close to that. And Marshall basically saying, look, if these guys hadn't gone and done this, we probably would have won the game.
Probably not.
Probably not still. Apparently, the defensive backs got offered to go to the trip as well, and they said no.
Smart boys.
And that still didn't help. All right, so kind of a fun little bit there too. You never know, I guess, sometimes with a lot of that. But all right, Jaymee, I think we need to transition into our correspondent this morning, one of our health and fitness correspondents, Morgan Brill. She's a very good friend of mine. I've known her for the last almost 2 years now, and she is going to lay some health and fitness knowledge on us this morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Brew. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Baxter and Jaymee?
Doing really well.
We're
excited to have you on the program today, and you are going to help most of the world figure out how to survive working at a desk job. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to try solve the puzzle.
Hopefully. I mean, so what is, I mean, I know you yourself, from what I know, you transitioned, you used to work as a nurse, now you're more of an educator, so I guess explain first of all what that means in the sense of, you're still a nurse though, aren't you? So you're still helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been nursing for 5 years. 3 years of it has been direct patient care, which means at the bedside with patients. And the last 2 years I've been a nurse educator, which is more, I'm a nurse that helps train nurses to be nurses. Yeah, so I'm a resource for them. I help onboard new nurses. I help in service on new technology and research. So I do more meetings, decisions, administrative stuff. So I still get out on the floors once in a while, but primarily a desk position now, not direct patient care.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense then. Okay, so what are some of the things here that people can be doing to help combat that? We were talking about this earlier in the show, too. I mean, people work 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, and I mean, you, I'm sure, have heard this, and I've heard this as well, too. Like, I don't have time to work out, once before or after work, and people have kids, and, they take work home with them as well, too. So how are people supposed to stay in shape in today's world, Morgan?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I knew moving into this role is that I was going to have to be really conscious of staying active in my personal life, because at work, sometimes I'm tied to a desk. So I make sure to at least work out 30 minutes a day prior to work. However, if I don't get to, or even if I do, I still institute some things. So right away when I moved to my desk job, I got one of these babies.
Oh, there we go.
I got a stability ball. Helps with core, helps with balance, burning calories instead of just passively sitting in a chair. You're more active in making sure you don't fall off the ball at your desk, essentially. So you're engaging muscles constantly when you're trading the desk chair for the stability ball. Go ahead.
When you're little, you're grown up, or when you grow up, you're taught breakfast is the healthiest meal of the day. Do you agree with that? You should eat before you do your 30 minutes of working out, before you go to work, or does it not really matter? Is there a preference that you have?
Breakfast is absolutely essential. It gets your metabolism going for the day. It gets your digestive juices flowing. And people that eat breakfast tend to process food throughout the day and more often. Actually, you should eat your biggest meal of the day as breakfast or lunch versus later in the day for supper or after supper, because your body's getting ready to go to sleep. So it's not as active and it's not going to metabolize those calories. And that's when they turn to sugar, it turns to fat, all that good stuff. So yeah, absolutely. Breakfast is essential.
What about for somebody like myself who I have a really hard time eating breakfast? Like, it could be like the world's greatest breakfast. Like, I love breakfast food. I have nothing against breakfast food. I think it's one of the greatest things God ever did with his creation, honestly, is making, omelets and pancakes and all that other fun stuff. But for somebody like me, they're like, I can't eat before like 9 or 10 a.m. because my stomach just won't have it. Is there ways to combat that, or to try to not completely void your body of any sort of nutrition before even lunchtime, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could try something lighter in the morning. Like, I drink shakes in the morning. Otherwise, if your body really just isn't ready for nutrition prior to 9, make sure to be drinking water. Because getting water in your body and your digestive system will help it function, and it will give your body energy just from that. And it's actually proven that people that are more hydrated weigh 3 or 4 pounds less on average a year than people that are dehydrated. So I would make sure to at least drink water.
Interesting.
What about the whole water weight deal? Like, I feel like if you drank so much water a day, your tummy would just feel so like, bleh. I got so much water inside me. I drink a lot of water, but for those people that don't, like I've heard, like people struggle with drinking enough water. That's why I see people with the gallons with the mark-off points. Or their...
I feel like those people are the most annoying ones, though, at the gym. It's like, oh, I'm just carrying around a jug of water. It's like, okay, we get it. You're trying to stay hydrated.
Yeah, absolutely. So at first, when you start drinking more water, your body isn't used to necessarily having that water. It's used to living in a dehydrated state, especially if you're not good at drinking water and all of a sudden your goal is to drink 2 gallons a day or something drastic. So it's good to actually like ease yourself into it. Like today, I'm going to drink 2 of these water bottles or 3 or 4, and your body will get used to having that and your kidneys will start processing it and using it. So you can't go from 0 to 100, or that's where you're going to feel that bloat or water weight. But truly that will go away as your body gets used to being more hydrated. Then it will ask you for it. And that's when you'll get that thirst feeling.
One of the things that I've heard a lot about, too, and we're talking with Morgan Brill, one of our health and fitness experts here on the Morning Brew. One of the things that I've heard, Morgan, is some people make a lot of arguments about, well, how it's hard to eat healthy when, I can't leave sometimes to go to lunch, or I only have 10, 15 minutes for lunch, so I just want to eat something nice and quick. And usually that's, like an Arby's or whatever, some sort of a fast food that, you're not going to get that nutrition throughout the day. And then ultimately it ends up hurting your body even more because you're not giving it what it needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I transitioned from the floor where I would pretty much only get a lunch break to a desk job where you get more time to sit and there's just less like active thinking. It's in a different way. You get bored. So you grab for like hungry snacks, like sugar and carbs to keep you feeling active and engaged because your body's used to moving. So what I did is I call it substantial snacking.
Nice.
And I eat pretty much every 2 or 3 hours. So I'm constantly eating. My desk mates make fun of me in our office because they're like, you're so small, but you're eating all the time. But eating all the time helps keep your metabolism up higher, and it helps your body digest more. You're not putting large amounts of food in, and you avoid that tired feeling. I don't know if you've ever eaten like a big meal, like Thanksgiving, for example. You feel so tired afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Shove your body full of food. But substantial snacks would include like a 1/4 cup of raw almonds or some trail mix. I love Quest bars or Lara bars. Veggies and hummus, a piece of fruit like bananas and almond butter are one of my favorites. I could bring a smoothie and keep it in the fridge for lunch too. So I eat things more along those lines and not one big meal to kind of keep me active through the day.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Morgan, do you also, it looks like you prep a lot of your snacks for the week or the day. Do you do the same thing with your meals? Do you suggest it? Do you think it's a waste of time? I don't know if you have children, or I know you're married, but as someone that is single and, the portions you buy at a grocery store are massive and I can never eat it all and throw the most of it away, I try to meal prep as much as I can, but with busy lifestyle, again, it's hard, and that's kind of an excuse as well because I like my Sundays. But if you're prepping your snacks, you might as well prep lunches for the week as well, right?
For sure. I prep on Sundays and Mondays. I go grocery shopping only once a week. And some tips for those of you that live alone or prep for one, think of meals that are easy to freeze and get glass containers. So that way you could keep half of it for now for the week and then put the other half in the freezer, and maybe in a couple weeks when you're ready to eat that same thing again, you could just pull it back out and let it thaw and it's still fresh. Or not necessarily buying fresh produce, but buying frozen fruit that's unsweetened, or fresh frozen vegetables too.
Sounds good.
So that helps well. That way you can just steam it and throw it in. Some of those vegetable bags are actually steamable, and you could just take it right in the bag to work.
Awesome stuff, Morgan. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time this morning to join us on the Morning Brew. If people want to continue to follow more of what you're doing and continue to learn about healthy lifestyles as a whole, is there a way that people can do that? Can they follow you on social media, or what's the best way to keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a page on Facebook. It's called Be Youtiful Life, BE-YOU-TIFUL Life. And also on Snapchat at MLRude20.
Awesome stuff, Morgan. We really appreciate the time today. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there goes Morgan Brill, one of our health and fitness correspondents here on the Morning Brew. Some great insight and some very good questions and good overall insight, I feel like, from her as well, too, and good points. Some people making some good points here on Facebook as well, too. Jeff thinks that we need to get those type of chairs, apparently, the bouncy ball chairs. If they make them tall enough, I mean, like, look, this is, like, I'm down as low as I can go in my chair, and I can go much higher. So if I wanted to tower over Jaymee for the remainder of the show, I could, but, like, I need to find a chair that I can.
I didn't even know they moved.
They do. Fun fact. Yeah, I blew people's minds yesterday when we had our guest Bill on yesterday. I'm like, Bill, you know you can adjust the chair. He's like, these move? I'm like, yes, they move. I'm like, come on, we pull at all the stops here on Brew Sports, guys. Come on.
It's a tall table, so the yoga balls wouldn't really work.
It'd have to be a really big yoga ball. But I'm totally game for that because I've done work on yoga balls before. Like, you know, whatever, if I'm working at a lower table, we have a ball at the house, so I'll, you know, do the whole, like, bounce as I'm working or whatever. Or just, even, like, with my newborn son, I'll hold him as well, too. We'll bounce on the yoga ball. He'll be like, oh, like, this is fun. Like, what's going on?
Is that what he thinks?
Yeah, usually. I don't know. That's what his face kind of looks. Or he's just looking at me like, what are you doing, Dad? Like, this is strange. Anyway, Liz makes a good point. She said, just listen to your body. She's like, you know, nobody knows your body better than you do, which makes total sense. So just listen to it, and obviously you'll be able to get whatever knowledge you need to. But I liked your question, though, and I think it's very relatable, though, about the whole, you know, I live by myself or I'm single right now. I'm trying to meal prep, of course, but, you know, it's so hard to do that when the portions are so massive.
Right.
You know, but it is one of those things that so many people have to work with. Even with myself and my wife, too, like, even just for two of us, we're only eating for two, and still, like, we find ourselves throwing things away at the end of the week sometimes because we haven't properly meal prepped for what we need to do. But, you know, a lot of that sometimes is just what it is sometimes. You know, you try to eat as much as you can. I mean, I will never sacrifice wine. I will always finish my wine, basically. But anyway, sidetracked there for a brief moment. So, but anyway, big stuff and great stuff from Morgan Brill. We appreciate her coming on. We're going to have a lot of other health and fitness correspondents coming on throughout the different things that are going on Brew Sports. So a very special thanks to Morgan for being our inaugural health and fitness correspondent on the Morning Brew.
Yep.
All right. Football. You like football? Are you ready for some football, Jaymee?
No.
No, you're not.
Just kidding.
You know,
yeah, let's talk football. That's all there is to talk about these days.
It really is. I mean, some people are getting mad at us being like, would you guys talk about something else on football? Oh, just kidding. No one's getting mad about that. They're like, yay, football! Woo! It is. It's the most wonderful time of the year aside from the Super Bowl. Everybody goes to that. Oh, Morgan says you can get stands for the yoga balls.
Interesting.
Really? Send me a link. I would. But I know myself, though. I couldn't sit still. I would be like,
yeah, bouncing.
Woo! Like, I already do that anyway. You're just like, would you sit down? Like, I walked off set yesterday when Tanner was just saying something, and I just walked off set for a hot moment. So I was like, all right, Tanner, you got this.
Bye.
I just left. I forget what the reason was, but I was like, peace out. All right, NFL free agency, hot and heavy, rolling along. Cleveland Browns are buying everybody. The Packers have done nothing. You're basically caught up. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Morning Brew. No, I'm kidding. That's not it. So what is happening in free agency, Jaymee? Because there's been a lot. I mean, yesterday was opening day for official signings. So the legal tampering is all over. So now the deals are actually being signed and money's being thrown out like it's candy in a nursery. I don't know.
People are losing their jobs, and yeah. So I guess we could start with the Texans, who traded Brock Osweiler and 2 draft picks to the Browns
Osweiler.
in exchange for a 4th-round draft pick.
Well, they were trying to get out of his contract, from what I was telling, because if you're a Texans fan, you will all attest to the fact that Brock was a hot mess, a dumpster fire, just an absolute
dumpster fire,
ridiculous thing that should have not happened last year. And $17 million for big old Brock after I think he started 2 or 3 games in Denver, and suddenly everybody thought he was God's gift to the world. And I'm kind of worried that's what's going to happen, too, because Brock backed up Peyton Manning for 2 years. Jimmy Garoppolo is backing up Tom Brady. Just because you are behind a all-time great quarterback doesn't necessarily mean you yourself will then do that as well, too. Nobody thinks, I don't think that anybody thinks that Brett Hundley, who's backing up Aaron Rodgers, is going to be as good as him. But, I mean, how many people thought Aaron Rodgers is going to be as good as he was?
Right,
Or
true.
Tom Brady when he was backing up.
Maybe that's everyone's, like, hope. Like, please
of course.
be the next Aaron Rodgers.
Of course, you always hope
after
that your quarterback is going to be as good as the current one that you have, if not better, obviously. I mean, the Packers have been spoiled for the last, 25 years, basically, because they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. You know, it's hard, even for the Patriots. Drew Bledsoe, who was a legend in the game, Tom Brady, the 49ers, Joe Montana to Steve Young. Like, it doesn't happen a lot. Then you look at teams like Cleveland and Chicago and, on and on and on, where these guys can't hold a starting job for more than maybe 2 or 3 years, or hold it for 8 years if you're Jay Cutler. And then you just become a fan favorite for every team except for your own, basically, because everybody's like, yes, we got Jay this week. Like, only Jay Cutler would become a legend for 31 other teams. I wonder if all 31 teams are going to induct him into their Hall of Fame, aside from the Bears.
They might. I couldn't believe that he was at 51-51. Like, not 50-52, 51.
He
finished
his career with the Bears at 51-51 overall.
Yeah.
But he's the leader in, I believe it's passing yards and touchdowns, completions, something like that. I mean, we had Greg Schwartz on Happy Hour yesterday, and he was just playing devil's advocate. He's like, in what world would you live in that a team would purposely want to cut their all-time leading, person in several of these different categories?
Yeah, but is it? He can still be leading in them, but it can still not be enough to keep up with everybody else.
Exactly, and I think that speaks to the Bears as well, too. The Bears haven't really had a really great quarterback in decades. I don't know if the Bears have ever really had a great quarterback that we would call a great quarterback. I mean, yeah, they've had decent guys or household names, but I don't think outside of the Bears organization, if you're going there saying, heck yeah, Jay Cutler is the best we've ever had, on paper, he might be. That's the funny thing. On paper, yes. Jay Cutler may be the greatest quarterback the Bears have ever had. Do we think Mike Glennon's going to be that? Mike Glennon, free agency. He got a new deal, 3 years, $45 million, something like that, I think. 3 or 4 years, I forget exactly.
He'll make $18.5 this first year,
yep. Which is the going rate for a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
I think I picked the wrong job.
Yeah, probably.
No, I'm content with what I'm doing right now. I would obviously love to make $18 million a year.
I don't even know what I would do with $18 million.
No.
I'd probably buy a lot of shoes.
You don't wear shoes enough, though, I feel like. What shoes are you wearing right now? You've worn those shoes multiple times. I wear like the same 2 or 3 shoes myself.
Yeah, but because I don't have $18 million to buy all the shoes I want.
What? So I don't have $18 million
so
either,
I have to
but
reuse my shoes.
Oh, you poor thing.
I know.
I'll start calling you Kim Kardashian. Come on now. The Browns have been making some hot moves, though. They signed Kevin Zeitler, a Milwaukee native. He got a 5-year, $60 million deal, which includes $31.5 million guaranteed. I always like that guaranteed thing because the NFL is not like Major League Baseball or the NBA, where you get the money that's in your contract. So if you're going to get $100 million for 5 years, you're going to get all $100 million, regardless if you leave early.
You like
or not.
that they don't?
I do. I like that they don't because I think that gives them something to play for. Basically, like, you're guaranteed, and so if Kevin plays 3 years with the Browns and all of a sudden, you know what, guys, trade me, I'm retiring, whatever, he will make a minimum of $31 million.
Okay. I understand.
Sort of a thing. Sense. So he has the opportunity to make $60 million over the 5 years, but he's going to at least, if he leaves early, part with $31.5 million.
So if he quit tomorrow, if he retired tomorrow?
See, that I don't know.
Okay.
That part I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's some sort of a...
Because I'd be content with $30 million.
I'd be like, guys, I'm going to sign that. Okay, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Thanks. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it. It's been real. I truly don't know how that works, honestly.
Okay. Micah Hyde went to the Bills.
Micah Hyde went to the Bills. Packer fans, how you feeling about that? Peter on Facebook says, Packers re-signed Nick Perry to a 5-year deal, 5 years, $60 million. Folks are a little torn about this, honestly, because some folks are saying, well, it was good. We got re-signed an outside linebacker, but then we also let one of our best secondary guys in Micah Hyde go to the Bills. What do you make of this deal? Or both deals, rather, letting Micah Hyde walk?
Maybe there's something that they saw that we didn't. Obviously, it's a bummer. You never want to see someone as good as him leave, but maybe they have their eye on someone else, or I don't know. You disagree? I don't like when you leave.
I think Micah Hyde was a mistake. I think they should have kept him.
Yeah.
I think you have a guy that has a versatile thing. That can play corner. He can play safety. He's a good return guy also. I think that letting a guy like him walk was foolish, especially since how many times were Packer fans complaining late in the season, we don't have enough depth. We've already gotten rid of more depth now. We're not bringing Sam Shields back. Micah Hyde's on another team now. We're running out of depth, guys. We need to go out and either sign or draft a ton of secondary people. Otherwise, the Packers are going to just continue to be Swiss cheese in the secondary and ultimately lose to games like Atlanta. Yeah, see what I did there? I know. It's kind of crazy. Jonathan says, I saw a great video compilation last night of every interception Jay Cutler threw to the Packers. It was epic. Peter says Jim McMahon was a great Bears quarterback. Yes, I do know. I was thinking of Jim McMahon in my head, Peter, but I guess I just wasn't sure. I would be curious to get the perception of Chicago sports fans to really hear their opinion about, Jim McMahon or Jay Cutler overall. But I think McMahon led them. Did McMahon lead them to a Super Bowl? I forget. I think he did back in the day there. Let's see here. Dan says, I agree and believe that the Brewers are still paying Teddy Higuera.
So maybe that's where our tax dollars are going and not the Miller Park.
There we go. Paying all the wrong
I figured
players.
it all out.
There we go. Well done, you sleuth, you Sherlock. Aside from that, though, of course, the big folks in the NFL want to know where Jay Cutler is going to fall. Is he going to get signed by a different team? Is he going to retire? He's already made over $100 million in his career. He could retire now at 34 years old and be completely fine with his life. Tony Romo is expected to either be traded to the Broncos or the Texans, supposedly, unless both of those deals don't end up working out. I'm Team Romo to Denver. I don't think Romo to Houston makes a lot of sense personally. And I had a great point this morning about Jay Cutler because some folks are saying, well, maybe he needs to sign with another team right now. And the gentleman this morning that I heard on the radio said, guys, Jay Cutler has spent the last 8 years in Chicago. He has 3 kids, all who are in the Chicago school systems. Like, it's not as simple as just like picking up and moving. He can't just pick up his family and go to LA.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of other factors that go into it. And he's already made $100 million. So at the same time, Jay could cut his losses, be like, you know what, guys, maybe I will be done. Yep. Played 8 years in the National Football League, a little bit more than that because he played at Denver before that, but still, like.
And it's not like his wife doesn't have any sort of income. Like,
exactly.
She's got enough money too, so they're fine.
But obviously the transition thing, and I think that would be my problem too if I was in his position. Sorry, Peter, I didn't mean to say send Jay to LA. Why not? Are you a Rams fan, Peter? If you are, I don't think I knew that because I know of you, Peter. I didn't think that was that you're a anyway. Peter says yes, a Super Bowl with Jim. That's right. Okay, I couldn't remember for sure, but I knew that I thought I was sniffing up the right tree there at some point. But you look at Jay Cutler, though, I don't think that he deserves to be a starter anymore. I don't think he does. And I could be completely wrong about that, but I think that he has the tools to be a good teacher, especially at this point in his career. He's made his money, he's played his games, he's gotten his chances. So why do we need, if you were at that point, why would you even bother continuing on?
Because he holds all these records, so he thinks he's probably good enough to.
Only for the Bears is where he holds the records.
Well, right. But he holds their record, so he probably doesn't think that he deserves to be a backup.
True.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, at what point, I guess, in your career as a professional athlete do you go from wanting to be the starter to the I will now be the mentor and play when you need me to be kind of thing? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, he's 34 years old, so I guess people can kind of be torn, I guess, on what that exactly entails.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I know anything else free agent-wise that we need to talk about? There's been a lot of signings all over the place. We talked about this, I think, yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe we didn't. That the Washington Redskins are denying Kirk Cousins' appeal to get traded.
We did not talk.
We did not talk about that. Me and my many co-hosts, my band of merry co-hosts, talked about it yesterday. But it's interesting, though, to play off of the Washington Redskins, they have their own problems in the front office.
Yeah, they do.
What is going on with their front office? Because it has something to do with their GM, doesn't it?
Yeah, they fired him because he apparently has a drinking problem that's lost him now his third job.
His third job?
He was fired from the 49ers in 2010, Seahawks in 2014, and now Washington.
Really?
Yep.
It honestly sounds like this gentleman needs help.
I agree. So, however, then I saw something from a gentleman who writes for the Washington Post named Mike Jones, who said he was told later in the season that they would one day use his drinking problem against him to fire him as an excuse. That it wasn't an actual problem, but since it was something that reoccurred in the past, it was an easy cop-out.
See, that's strange and interesting to me that would be
Because then they don't have to pay
shady.
him. Yeah, it said that they don't have to pay him because he's being fired.
What if he had been clean though? Like, what if he had not had any alcohol problems like for the last several months, and then they still were like, "Look, your alcohol's been a problem," and I'd be like, "I haven't touched a drink in."
They
months.
said he was showing up to the locker room drunk.
JK then.
That'll
Sorry,
do
I
it.
tried, McLaughlin. I tried to
that'll
be,
do it.
play the nice guy there.
Showed up to the locker room drunk. Didn't go to the combine. Missed that. The people were said that there was tension between him and
Dan Snyder.
Bruce Allen, their president.
Oh.
And now they don't have to pay him. So maybe this is part of it too. They don't have to pay him out because he was being fired from cause rather than like a philosophical differences or whatever words they use.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, when you let somebody go because you just don't like them, be like, all right, Jim, I'm going to fire you because you stink and I just don't like you. Instead of being like, all right, Jim, your alcohol or the fact that you've been dealing drugs in the locker room, like, we can't have that. Like,
right.
You have to we're going to fire you without the rest of your pay, basically. So Washington is in a little bit of a strange state, I guess. I mean, 9-7 2 years ago, they won the division, went to the playoffs, got beat by the Packers. Last year, they missed the postseason just by a game. They were 8-7-1. I would like to say Washington hasn't been a complete failure the last 2 years, but it's Washington though. What do you really say about?
They're also not firing him because of their performance. They're firing him because of his own.
Exactly.
So no one's disappointed with the Redskins. They're just disappointed with his life choices.
Yes, that's a very valid point, honestly, that I hadn't even thought of, because it's like Washington themselves. You fire a head coach if you're mad usually, right. And they gave him a 2-year contract, to re-up. I can't think of Coach Gruden's first name now. It's not John, it's his brother. Anyway, Coach Gruden, I'm going to go with that. They gave him another contract, so obviously people are fairly content with what they're doing on the field, but now they're going to probably have this. Get rid of the GM. Now you've got a quarterback that wants to leave, but that. They think that ultimately will end up signing the franchise tag deal just because Washington's like, stay another year. I think that's kind of shady, personally.
How come he can't bow out like Kaepernick did?
I don't think he has a contract clause that allows him to do something like that, where I think Cap had something that allowed him to fully just basically cut out and be like, I'm out of here, guys.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has, but not. Do you think the Packers are going to do anything, Jamie? I know that we have a lot of Midwest viewers, and most of them want to know what the Packers think and are going to try to do. I mean, they've already let people walk. They've already let people sputter about. I don't know.
I don't know if they'll probably lay low this year.
What do you make of the whole Eddie Lacy to Seattle or Eddie Lacy to Minnesota rumors?
Would I be a bad co-host if I told you I haven't even heard about that yet?
No, that doesn't make you a bad co-host. But what are your initial reactions when you hear that?
I think it makes me a little bit sad because I think that, even though there's been so much stupid drama that has gone on with him the last couple of years.
Yes, drama.
His weight gain or his partying or his whatever, I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's bad for the Packers organization. So it would be sad to see him go, but that's all I got.
Yeah. No, I just was curious because I was kind of torn by that as well, too. And I heard him like, well, Seattle. I'm like, okay, Green Bay, I'm sure we'll have to see them at least once. With Minnesota, I could see that as well, too.
I think I would prefer him go to Seattle than the Vikings.
Interesting. Because you maybe only have to see him once a year come playoffs or when Packers-Seahawks play again, because everybody wants to see the Packers and Seahawks play. I think it would be interesting if the Packers and the Vikings swapped. We got Adrian Peterson, they got Eddie Lacy. Although obviously both are free agents, so it's not like we can just trade player for player. Like it would actually have to be we sign Adrian Peterson, they sign him, kind of a thing. I think we'd get the better end of the deal. I think the Packers would get the better end of the deal on that one personally. Whether or not it actually ends up working out in our favor, I have no idea. Of course,
whether or not they listen to Baxter.
Yes, that's a great idea. Listen to me, fellow folk. But I want to listen to you now, Jamie, because you have some straight-up nasty rants and rhymes you got to drop on the world. Okay. Don't you?
Yeah. My first one's going to go with Conor McGregor. God, I just do not like that guy at all. Takes a picture of his left hand and quotes it on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. It says, this made me millions. No, it didn't. Your training and your coaches and your support system, all of that made you millions. Not your damn left hand. Your training. Give yourself some credit. Stop being a douche.
Ooh. So that's not the kind of douche that you like.
No.
Interesting. No, I think this is ridiculous. I mean, so he obviously is a left-handed hitter. Who is this gentleman? Somebody responded to him. Oh, that's why. He is a professional gamer tweeted back at him. He said, "This right thumb made me thousands." I thought that was great. Well done. Well done. Everybody, yeah, there's been people that have been tweeting in their own variations of their hands, basically. That's kind of a creepy one. I'm not going to talk about that one. But that was, yeah, still. Then you got more. You just got more people that are just being stupid and idiotic.
I mean, I'm not surprised that he made it or that he took that picture because it's total Conor McGregor.
Well, yeah. I mean, and
style.
that's what he's an entertainer. That's what he does. He fires up the people. He gets them going.
Right.
He's like, all right, guys.
He's great at that. Look, I just don't like him.
I agree. Bruce says, preach.
Brew, you don't like him either. We think alike in a lot of stuff. I like you.
Way to be, Brew. I see you. Yeah, Conor McGregor, I think, is good for the sport of UFC in the sense that you need that. I don't know. Is he the villain? Is he the villain of UFC, or is he? He was the underdog. He's like, I'm just the simple old Irishman.
Maybe,
because his backstory is really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
what he and his wife have overcome,
right.
I think, is remarkable and very rare in the world of sports. But where he is now, fame, I feel like, has tainted him.
I agree.
Is it all
and
show?
I think that him and Dana White together are this mean. I don't know if mean's the right word.
Mean's a good word.
They pump each other up, right? Dana White is great at hyping up these fights, and he's great at running the UFC. Why?
I get it. I completely get what you're saying, honestly. The fact that Conor McGregor is doing stuff like this, I think, is funny, though. And I think that I disagree with you in the sense that I think it's better for UFC and better for the sports world that he is causing such a row, because why not? You got to do things to fire people up at times, don't you?
And it keeps the UFC relevant, so I get it. I understand why he's doing it. I just hate it. Maybe it's just the way he presents himself, which gets people excited and talking about it. But I just don't like it.
So if Conor McGregor walked in the room, if I told you Jaymee, we got an interview with Conor McGregor,
I'd probably be like, crap.
You're like, no, thank you.
I'd be like, I don't say very nice things about you. I'm sorry.
He'd probably be like, it's all right. You're also a foot and a half taller than him.
Yeah,
so.
I'll just.
You probably could. You versus Conor, that'd be a fun little. You give Conor McGregor a swirly. I'd say that. I think that would be fun. Jeff wants to know if you're going negative again.
A little bit. It seems to be a trend that
We're gonna have to change your name to Nancy with how negative that you're being here. Negative Nancy.
Baxter Colburn and Negative Nancy.
Welcome to Morning Brew. I'm Bashful Baxter. That's Negative Nancy. I don't know. I'm not bashful. I don't know what the right word would be to describe me. So, Conor McGregor, do you enjoy the antics? Do you not? Are you not entertained by Mr. Conor McGregor and what he's doing? His championship belts.
That was a terrible accent, by the way.
I can't do Irish, okay? If they want me to do British, I can go that way, but that's about as much as I can do, okay? I don't want to. I'm not Simon Mitchell. I can't, he's like, hello, it's very much British. Can you do accents?
No, I can do a Sheboygan accent.
What's a Sheboygan accent?
It's just how I talk anyways.
Hey guys, I'm Jaymee from Sheboygan.
Jaymee from Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. Is it she? I thought people are like, it's Sheboygan.
It's Sheboygan.
Sheboygan.
I mean, I grew up there, so I think that's how you say
Waukesha. It's Waukesha.
Sheboygan.
Sheboygan. And now is it Milwaukee or is it Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
It's Milwaukee. Yeah. I always have to say Mill, though, when I do broadcast. I'm like, hey, I'm broadcasting here in Milwaukee, because if you're like, we're here in Milwaukee, people are like, what kind of 2-bit little radio bit?
Do you say Wisconsin or Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
You can always tell when people aren't from here because they really Wisconsin.
Yeah. I'm from Wisconsin.
I'm from Wisconsin.
Going to go Wisconsin. Yeah, like Florida. I mean, and people calling it Florida. Like, what is that? Like, come on, guys.
No.
I know. I'm kidding.
I was like, shut your mouth.
I'm from Florida. Are you? You part of his crew? Jeff says that one of our Bubbler Banter hosts, Josh, does British. I've heard his British accent, and I would, I get on board with that.
There's this gentleman that comes into the bar I bartend at and speaks in this fake accent, and it drives me insane because sometimes he has like a normal American,
Like, hi.
like, hey, I'm Kyle. I don't know what his name is. And then other
Kyle.
times he's like,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello,
no.
Jamie. Give me a pint of Guinness.
Yeah, I'm like, does anyone else hear that?
You're like, what's he doing? He's strange, fella.
Yeah, it's weird.
It does. It is a little weird. But I mean, accents can sometimes be used on dates, like if you're meeting a first time person and you're like, oh,
No.
you're strange. You would never. Would you like if you knew you were never going to see like a guy again? And you're like, hello, my name's Jamie. You wouldn't do that.
No, I don't. Thankfully, I've never been on like a date that was like that bad. I went on a date that was pretty bad, like a couple months ago,
Tell us about it.
and I just held it up. I'm like super open book. So you want to talk about your ex-girlfriends on a first date? I really don't care. I'm not like that kind of person. But then he started talking about like Tinder dates he went on, and his car was a disaster, like garbage in the back seats to the brim. It was awful. And then he was like,
I wouldn't have even gotten in the car if I would have seen that he had garbage in his backseat. I was
already at
you
the
nasty.
point. I was going to get an Uber home because we were drinking. He's like, I'll just bring you home. And I was like, really, it's okay. He's like, oh, it's not a hassle. I was like,
That's
okay.
when you'd be like, I got to go to the bathroom.
And then he opens up the door, and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And
I would have
then
just run at that point.
we had completely different music tastes. He didn't like sports. It was just not a good match. And then he's like, what kind of music do you want to listen to? And I was like, I don't care. And he was like, Megadeth, Pantera, like... I was like, oh my God. And then he texted me like 4 days later. He's like, yeah, it was so much fun, but I don't think we're going to work out. I'm like, no,
You're like,
duh. Thank
yes.
you. Texted me twice because I didn't text him back because I was at work. So he texted me the same thing again. Hey.
Just in case.
Yeah, I get it, buddy.
Like, look, it's not you, Jamie. It's me.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think it's gonna work out.
I'm aware we're not going to work.
You're like, thank you, God.
Yeah. Please delete my number.
I don't think I've ever really had any bad first dates,
No?
personally. I've gotten pretty lucky with my first dates.
Brew, have you really used an accent on a Tinder date?
Do tell, Brew.
What
tell.
accent would you use?
Brew says we should do an entire morning brew. That's very repetitive. Brew says we should do the entire morning brew in an Irish accent next Friday. Friday for St. Patty's Day.
I don't think I can do that.
Do we have to wear green for St. Patrick's Day? See, I don't have a good one. It's like Scottish and British and Irish all rolled. I mean, it's UK. I don't know. It's all just swirling about in here. Now I throw a little, I don't know. This is the morning brew, okay? People ask me, what do you do on a daily basis, Baxter? I say, watch the morning brew. It's the best idea of who the hell I am and what I do with my life. This is it.
He's gonna sit home all weekend and be like, okay, Baxter,
Irish.
you can do this. You can do this.
I'm probably going to forget. I'm going to come like full on, like green, like leprechaun, like.
I hope you do.
Maybe I'll just wrap myself in a green screen, and then people can like CGI over me because we have a green screen that I could just wrap myself in.
You
Be
can get one of
"I'm
those
wearing
like those Mr. Green suits
There
from
you
It's
go.
Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, I haven't never watched it, but I'm sure what you're saying is great.
Oh my goodness.
I don't watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Why would you? Who watches It's Always Sunny?
So
It's not my kind of
funny.
humor. I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life, Jamie. What about Canadians? They're great people.
they're so nice.
They are. Free healthcare. Did you have anything else you wanted to rant about, by the way? I thought you had something else.
I do. This rant's gonna. Okay, so throughout the week, we try to find articles to talk about here on Brew Sports. So I check everything from Bleacher Report to Barstool to ESPN to whatever. I just don't understand the amount of half-naked women on the internet and how you are comfortable with your goodies out there, because my dad would disown me. I would disown myself. Look at me. I'm dressed like I'm in a parka. Like, come on, girls, get it together. Ugh. Gross. All for some followers. Ugh. Put a shirt on. Yup. Tooch. Can I say that word?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure it's fine. The FCC doesn't know about us. It's
I
fine.
just don't understand. Like, get your sports knowledge, read your articles, and then you got to see like a side boob before your next article. I just don't understand the concept.
Was it a
behind
tasteful side boob?
Side boobs are usually pretty tasteful, unless.
Oh, I love it. This is why I love doing this show so much. Not for the side boob, but maybe. I don't know. But, like, you're right, though. Like, how often is the sports world saturated with half-naked women just flaunting their goodies about and just being like, woo, hoo, hoo.
Right, which I get. Like,
or just in general, not even just the sports world, the world as a whole. Look at Hollywood.
Yeah, and, like, you look good, I get it. Like,
yeah, sure.
I'm not gonna, like, they're not bad-looking women, but why does it need to be littered through everything? I'm just trying to read about whatever, spring training, and then all of a sudden I got boobs on my screen.
I don't like that either. I mean, like, how many, and it really is, as someone that's worked in the sports journalism side of things, at least in the internet as well, too, so much of the time it's just for the clicks. Like, oh my gosh, like, check out the top 20. I hate the word. Top 20 wags. Like, what's a wag?
Oh,
WAGS. Like, check out the top 20 wags of, like, these famous soccer players, or talk about, the top 10 babes that we'd all love to go on a first date with. Like, why? Why do we need to do that?
Yeah, I don't understand. And I'm not very sensitive, like, when it comes to, like,
I think it's nasty.
I just don't understand the concept behind it.
I feel like those females don't respect themselves and have to get justification by having millions of followers that, ooh and ah at them and make them feel good about themselves because, I almost got a full frontal nudity picture of you, but you covered it up just barely.
Yeah, Joe Rogan he had a stand-up. It's on Netflix called Trigger. It's hilarious if you like stand-up comedy. And at the end, he talks about this girl who from Florida, who all it is pictures of her butt.
You look at me
and
from
she
Florida.
Has 8 million followers. Probably has more now because Joe Rogan, whatever, put her in a stand-up. But he's like, why? Why? It's just her butt. He's like, I follow her, but why? Like, why?
It's a nice
and I'm
butt,
like, you know
but
what?
seriously.
You're so right. And I go through like my Instagram of girls that like I grew up with or I've met in college. I'm like, what? Put it away.
Seriously, like I have the most diverse social media, I think, of most people because I have backgrounds with the Miss America pageant. So I have pageant, gals that I follow. I have sports that I follow. I have health and fitness people that I follow. And then I've got close friends as well, too. But, like, I'm even paging through, like, here, I have nothing, crazy against this. Like, I'm happy to show you my Instagram really fast here, like, via, like, cute family picture. Like, there's some cute people on the beach. Okay, there's some, some sports stuff. Like, some Bible stuff. Like, there's a good friend of mine working out. Like, look, it is what you want it to be, kind of a thing. Like, a cute dog, like snow, like, why do we need the boobs? Why do we need the craziness that is ensuing with all of this? Like, sure. Do we go to these pages because, guys like to see a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Like,
well, and then people are like, oh, it's all about self-love. Like, that is not for yourself.
I don't care if it's self-love. Like, you are loving yourself in the fact that someone's hopefully going to want to have sex with you.
Right.
Like, that's really what it boils down to. That's how I attribute that. Like, come on, gals.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for some half-naked women on mine. I'm just coming up with a bunch of animals.
Well,
like,
you're probably wrong. It's
animals.
Not about the same. It sounds about the same thing to me, honestly. So it's a little ridiculous, honestly, and thankfully we don't have to deal with too much of that. But yes, for those ladies out there that like to flaunt it if they've got it, there's a tasteful way to do it. There's a respectful way to do it. I think, my wife is a very beautiful person, and I think when she puts on, a really nice dress, or she, does her hair, or, whatever, like, I think she is just the most beautiful person in the entire world. And I'm not saying that just to say it. I'm saying it because it's true.
So cute.
But I find her far more attractive when she is in a beautiful dress, or when she just, I find her beautiful in sweatpants, for gosh sakes. Like, that
I was going to say, you better.
I was going to say, like, let me come back here, like, kind of a thing. But, like, and I tell her that, and I would even tell her that, like, when we were dating, too. I was like, honestly, because, girls are always like, man, I don't feel pretty today, or man, like, like, classic girls, that's what they do. People do that. Like, I feel like, and I'd be like, you look pretty today. Be like, stop. Like, I don't look pretty. And I'm like, and I would tell my wife, I'm like, sweetheart, you could be covered in mud, or whatever, like the most ridiculous stuff. I'm like, I still would think you'd be beautiful. I'm like, it's all about what's on the inside. It's not about on the outside.
You little cheese ball.
But it's true, though. Like, it's 100% true. If you actually love somebody for who they are, you don't care what they look like.
Oh, Baxter.
Just saying. Throwing it out there. Sports. Back to sports. I like this, though. We talk about things that need to get talked about because so many times, I think that's what makes this show so unique as well, is that we aren't afraid to talk about things that sometimes people don't want to talk about. I mean, yes, we do the sports thing. It's a sports network. That's what we do. But we talk about other things as well, too, that people often don't know how to talk about or just think it's a faux pas. Like, I can't talk about that. I can't call out, half-naked women on a show. Sure you can. Tell them to love themselves. Tell them to put a shirt on. Like,
right.
Do it. It's okay.
Just do it.
Seriously.
Just put some clothes on, please.
James calls me a smart man. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. I mean, it's all true. Like, I love my wife so much that literally she could wear anything she wants, and I would love her no matter what. But like I said, I mean, I think a woman is far more attractive when she is wearing a really nice dress, or like when people are like, oh, I'm going to get fancy. Like when you get fancy, like I think that is the best way. Do you have a, what?
Yeah.
What?
That's me being fancy.
Oh, I was like, what, yeah, hi, Jamie. I was like, what are you waving at me? Sorry. I think that is probably one of the most beautiful ways a woman can look. Instead of like, oh, here I am on the beach, like, here's my boobs, here's my butt. Like, no. I'd be like, okay, like maybe if I was like high school Baxter and like didn't care about my anything, like whatever.
Boobs.
Yeah, I know, like, like, but come on. Anyway, I'm done. I'll get off my box here, my soapbox.
I'm just happy you agree with me, but you're also.
I'm a what?
Married and.
I would agree with you no matter what, though. That's how I was raised.
Yeah, I know.
Even if even if Baxter single was sitting here, I would still not be like, yeah, those boobs though. Like I'd be like, put a shirt on. Like, come on.
Yeah. I think it's gross.
I agree. I completely agree. All right, let's flash back Friday here to close out the show, Jamie. The week that was in the sports world. We talked about a lot of different things. We debated on Monday about whether or not UFC is relevant. You were talking about if you think it was going to be the new WWE by in 10 years, basically. We also talked about how old is too old to play pro sports. We thought, we're asking about who was nasty in the sports world. We talked about all kinds of things.
Conor McGregor. You're a nasty man.
There you go. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. That's a good nasty one. We had Robbie Stanley on to talk about the NHL. I thought he was a phenomenal interview. David Kenyon was here as well, too. Talked about football. Bill Schmidt was in studio yesterday. I thought that was a great interview with him. And, of course, Morgan Brill we just heard from, Simon Mitchell as well, too. I mean, we've had a great week overall, and I just wanted to kind of leave the floor open if there's anything you wanted to go back and hash out or anything you wanted to put a little bow on, basically, as we flash back.
No, I think the last 5 days were really successful as far as, like you said, the interviews we've had were great. Everyone was super insightful and helped clarify any questions we had and gave us a good insight. I think this was a good 5 days.
I agree. It was a good week.
Yeah.
And Baxter and Jaymee agreed. It was a good week. The end. No, I don't know. It sounded like a book, and they all agreed. It was good. Well, Jamie, it's been a pleasure.
As always.
I enjoy you very much. I'm going to go eat a cinnamon roll and drink a mimosa now because it's Friday and it's casual Friday at the office. I was going to have them on the air, but I didn't want to be like chewing and like trying to like do that. Like I'll drink coffee like on the air and Tanner drinks like he's going out of style. But anyway, coming up next, it is halftime at 11 a.m. Central Time. It is Tanner's birthday, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday numerous times, either on the show, especially on the show. That way he feels the love. But, of course, find him on any form of social media, Banner Turk, and hit him up that way as well, too. All right, Jamie, parting thoughts? What are you doing the weekend? Did you do anything good?
Nope. We got a hockey game tonight.
Woo!
Hockey game tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Relaxing on Sunday.
Boom.
Yep.
I love it. She's Jamie. I'm Baxter. Follow us on Brews Sports. Go to brewsportsnet.com, at brewsportsnet on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as well, too. We'll see you guys back here again on Monday for another edition of The Morning Brew. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys next time on Brew Sports.